evening, as Alfred Hitchcock would say. It is my prayer that you all had a peaceful, peace-filled Thanksgiving weekend, a wonderful Sunday as we embark on the beginning of a new week, the ending of a month, and the beginning of another month. Today has been, again, quite interesting for me. Sometimes you have to allow yourself to be still and be quiet and listen. And sometimes it's not a choice. For me, I feel I'm always getting downloads. Always. It was Naughty by Nature, Tret from Naughty by Nature, that says you can run, but you can't hide, you can't go far. No matter where you go, there you are. And Paul Laurence Dunbar said, we wear the mask that grins and lies. And today, as I was talking to my daughters, I realized and shared some things that I had shared with myself, and I'm sure I shared with them before, but to verbalize it again, where they're at an age where they understand or truly understand. Sometimes in life we experience things that cause us to build an outward facade that isn't who we are. And very few people ever come to know, come to see, or acknowledge the truth of who you are. There are people that you will encounter, no matter how hard you try to hide, they can see the very heart of you, the very soul of you. And so I was sharing with my daughter that I've been a big girl all my life. Maybe not as big as I've been in my adult age, but I've always carried some weight. But I realized that even in as much as I wanted or may have wanted to lose weight, was it me or was it what was placed upon me? Because I've always been made fun of. I've always been picked on. Sadly, even in my adult life. You know, they say people grow up and they mature and become wiser. Not everybody. Because even at 44, there are grown individuals that act like children. But I realized that my weight, my large clothes, my outward demeanor was all a part of my armor. Because if I looked big and I looked mean, maybe people would leave me alone. Just maybe people would not bother me. I am probably one of the most sensitive people God created. And people always say you gotta have thick skin. But I don't care how thick your skin is, how big your clothes are, how big you are. When you have a heart, there is nothing that can block it. Nothing. And so a lot of times we experience things in life. So if and when we encounter those things again, not only can we apply those lessons for ourselves, but we can help somebody else. One of the hardest things for me to do is let go and not feel. Not just of my own emotions, but I feel emotions and pain and things that aren't even mine. Be them good, bad, or indifferent. Since I was very young, I have tried to save a world and a people that isn't mine to save. That is not my job. And I always remind myself that God sent someone to do that, and it was not me. One of the many questions that I find myself asking in these last 4 or 5 years, I said, if I'm a believer and someone else is a believer, if I'm praying and this other person is praying, but what they're praying is totally opposite of what I'm praying, how does God do that? How does God decipher whose prayer to answer? Or how does he answer? Because in my mind, from what I see, from what I'm feeling, it seems like he ain't answering mine because he's favoring them. But that's not how God works. In all of our getting, we must get understanding. We must allow people to believe what they believe, to do what they do, because we cannot force feed anyone. You shouldn't. Judge Mathis said life is rough. We had to make do. Sometimes life is really rough. And in this season, I know that many of us have wondered, God, how in the world? What in all of Green Acres? Lord Jesus, help me. I always try not to compare, because what we experience in life is enough for us. What you have gone through would have killed me, would have taken me out. So instead of saying, I ain't been through nothing, or trying to compare it to what someone else has been through, I always say, what I have been through is enough for me. I want to continue with an attitude of gratitude. I want to just be grateful and thankful. I want to count it all joy. You know, Facebook has all of these little quiz things that you see what's gonna do this and which character of this. And every time I do those, it always comes back with something about strength. And it says, Kai, you're very strong. Kai, it's the strength that you, yeah. And as I thought about it, it made me think about that verse. His grace is sufficient for me because his power is made perfect in my weakness. So, as we prepare to rest, or some people may be preparing to go to work. Some people may be preparing just to binge watch something on Netflix. Whatever it is that you're preparing to do, just remember that his grace is sufficient. Give yourself some grace. I am truly and sincerely praying the best for all of you. And I pray that God, the universe, whomever and whatever it is that you believe, that they comfort you, that they hear your earnest plea, that you go forth and be great, on purpose, with purpose, because you have purpose, and of course, because I love you. Good night.